Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Bedford High Stadium here on this gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Quite warm considering the weather we had last night for the football game. A lot chillier. This is a beautiful day, and this is a quarterfinal matchup here in the Division I tournament, boys soccer tournament between the Crimson Tide of Concord and your Bedford Bulldogs. I'm Harry Kozlowski here with Andrew Hansen. And Andrew, this is a game that the Bulldogs had a fairly easy time with this team in the regular season.
That's right, Harry. Bedford beat Concord right here on this field 5-0 back on October 3rd. But it is the playoffs. You never know what can happen. This is lose and you go home, so Coach Pepper has to have these boys ready to be sharp.
And the team is coming on the field right now. The Bulldogs in full black kit. And the Crimson Tide will be all white.
Bedford finished the regular season undefeated, 15-0-1. Concord, meanwhile, finished 7-6-3. They qualified for the playoffs as the number 9 seed, and they won their playoff opener 2-1 against 8th-seeded Exeter, and that earned them the right to come here today for the quarterfinal matchup against the Bulldogs.
Quick reminder, if you're planning on seeing the girls play their quarterfinal matchup, their game has been pushed down to 7 p.m. start Sunday right here at Bedford High Stadium.
You may notice a slight change in the appearance of some of these Bulldogs. Looks like they've got their playoff dues going. A lot of blonde hair. Kind of reminds me of looking at the Bedford hockey team of years past.
Yeah, I was going to say, did the hockey team start that tradition of the blonde dye? They're the first team that I'm aware of.
Most schools do it, it seems.
Well, at this school, I think it was the hockey team. So they got their hair color going.
That's why it's good that we have jersey numbers here and jersey numbers on our rosters.
Yeah.
We can't identify these players by sight as we've gotten used to throughout the regular season.
Hey, speaking of the hockey team, I want to remind all our viewers here on BCTV 23 that they've got their fundraising spaghetti dinner on November 7th at St. Elizabeth Seton Church. $10 donation. Hope you come out and enjoy some spaghetti with the hockey team.
That was a kickoff from Alistair Ferrier for Concord. As you mentioned, Harry, Concord is in the white uniforms, going right to left here. Bedford in the home blacks. Ferrier gets the play started. It's sent over to the near side to Boyle. He whiffs on the first attempt. And Zachary Vero there to win possession for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that was a bit of a scrum along the sideline that the Bulldogs came away with possession there.
Jake Bowden throws it in. Now Vero will throw it ahead to Vitor. We've had a lot of fun watching Vitor this season put pressure on opposing defenses. He's relentless up front, trying to create opportunities. Vero with a big throw into the box. It's volleyed out by Concord. Now it's headed out by Komeyer. Caceres making a charge for Concord, and we'll have a throw in.
Bedford just happy to chip the ball out of play. Andrew Middleton was there just to put it out of bounds to give the Bulldogs a chance to reset their defense.
Abar with the throw in, and Statirez clears it for the Bulldogs. Now our first look at Aiden Wishard. That ball moved a little bit in the wind. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Not gusting too heavily, but enough to make a possible difference. Concord trying to establish possession. Now they have a little bit of room in the midfield.
There's Massamingo with it.
Sends it over to Boyle.
Knocked out of bounds by number 10, Zachary Virau.
Abar with the throw-in to Ferrier. Concord will have another throw-in. Just 3 minutes in here. 2 40-minute halves, of course, here in New Hampshire high school soccer. Vitor battling 1v2. Ferrier comes away with it. Satirez with a nice settle. Turns it up to Zachary Viro. And now it's cleared away by Komeyer.
Nice quick transition there by the Bulldogs to get the ball upfield.
Middleton sends it back to Nathan Viro. And he can't find his target on the right wing. But he'll have a throw in here.
DeBono hitting it out of bounds for the Crimson Tide, and Bedford takes over.
Bowden throws it into Statirez. And Avery Hudson sends it back to Middleton. That's Foltran on the far side with the throw in. Volleyed away by Massimongo. Flanagan crosses it into the box, and that's our first action for Abdul Rahman, Concord's goalkeeper. On the season, Bedford scored 66 goals and only allowed 6. Just a phenomenal regular season. Concord, meanwhile, just put up 40 goals and gave up 27. So the Concord defensive core has a big challenge trying to deal with the Bulldogs' offensive attack. And there's a steal by Bowden. His cross is blocked, but it'll be a throw-in for the Bulldogs.
Quickly broken up there by DeBono.
Zachary Virau sends it in. It's headed away. Bedford's going to have their first corner kick of the afternoon.
I'm sure that was not intended. He had enough time to get it to the sideline, probably just a bad bounce off the top of his head.
Virau goes with a short corner to Statirez, gets it back. And now Bedford will have a throw-in. Zachary Virau sends it in to Flanagan. Now Vitor trying to control it, but it's cleared away. Bowden going shoulder to shoulder with Ferrier. And Concord will have the throw-in. Ibar doing the honors. Bowden heads it. Ferrier traps it. He dribbles it too far, and Middleton's able to clear it ahead. Vitor angling for possession. He's got it. Turns it inside.
He might have a shot.
There it is. Vitor puts Bedford up 1-0 in the quarterfinals here against Concord.
That was 100% Vitor on that play. Well, a little bit of credit for the upfeed to him, but he was able to head it to himself, settle it down, make the cut to the inside, and find a lane to shoot. Terrific action, a terrific goal by Vitor to put the Bulldogs up 1-0 here.
His individual skill really on display there. Undeterred by the two defenders he had to deal with. Just quickly getting it to his strong right foot. One dribble for some space, and then he buried it past Abdul Rahman, who really didn't have much of a chance on that one.
They're going to give Middleton the assist on the feed pass.
Concord's counterattack broken up as Foltran clears it. And now Poshman sends it up the right wing. Virau has it now with some space. He cuts it back. Now he's looking for support and doesn't have it.
Couldn't quite get it to Bowden there.
On the charge is Caceres.
But Bowden hustles back and makes a good defensive play.
Aiden Wishard sends it to the far side. And Vitor now back by midfield, loses it. Poshman there to protect him. Statiras working on the far wing. Running out of space, and he goes too far. It'll be a goal kick for Concord.
Trying to find somebody in the middle. I think he had Bowden in the slot, and he couldn't quite get him. Good defense there by Concord, cutting off all the passing lanes.
Daniel Abar will take the goal kick, left-footed. And Zachary Vero heads it to Statiras. Poshman putting on pressure. And now Abdallah has some room on the far wing, but his cross is harmless. Nathan Virau clears it. Flanagan finds Statiras. Pass for Vitor too far. Caceres sends it back. Now Middleton volleys it for the Bulldogs. And Bowden turns it back to Nathan Virau. Well, Harry, Bedford has the early 1-0 lead, but Concord looks somewhat comfortable here for a 9 seed. They've had a fair amount of the possession so far.
They've been able to move the ball upfield. They just haven't been able to get any kind of serious pressure on the Bedford goal. Good defensive play by the Bulldogs has kind of limited their opportunities, but they do get the ball into the Bedford zone.
That Bedford defense has been real strong all season. To only allow 6 goals in 16 regular season games, quite an accomplishment.
Now Vitor hits the dirt, but no whistle there, or hits the turf, I should say.
Now Statiras has it, and he's pushed down from behind. No whistle.
And the crowd gets a little restless there.
Thankfully, Bedford wins the throw-in here. Zachary Viro, a short one to Statiras. He flicks it back to Bowden in the middle now. It's Poshman. He finds Foltran open. Tries to return it to Poshman. He's got a volley with the left. We've got a chance. And
just
we've got a whistle.
Did they blow the whistle?
They blew the whistle there at the last second.
It was a good chip shot there, just over the crossbar. It would have been a difficult scoring play if successful.
This goal kick headed for midfield and now all the way back. Wishard will have to play it with his feet. He does that easily. Concord finds some room finally on the near side. It's Boyle. He sends a high cross into the middle. Middleton comes out for the header. Foltran volleys it away. And Foltran settles nicely there. Vitor with the little spin move. Didn't quite work that time.
Yeah, once again, Bedford's defense neutralizes that penetration by Boyle. He comes down the sideline, tries to cross into the box, but that pass was broken up, and so no real offensive threat on that play.
Avery Hudson, check that. Poshman working on possession there. He can't get it. Abar with the throw in. There's Avery Hudson wearing number 8. Poshman right next to him, number 5. Now Foltran sends it to Poshman, but it's taken away by the Crimson Tide. Ferrier with a little touch. And now Bowden finds Statiras. Zachary Vero looking for help. He finds it in his brother, Nathan. Now Bowden looking for Poshman, sent away by the Crimson Tide. 1-0 Bulldogs here in quarterfinal action. 28 minutes remaining here in the first half. Big ball ahead to Vero, but he's offsides. Players on both teams bunched together width-wise there a little bit, as Middleton was able to send that one easily over the entire group of players. Couldn't quite get the timing right with Vero to stay on sides. Now Statiras has a little bit of space. Nice turn inside to Vitor. He chips it to the corner, and Vero runs out of space.
A little too far for Vero to catch up to it.
Wind seems to have subsided a bit.
We have a substitution. Boyle leaves the game for Concord. I didn't catch which player came in for him.
He was wearing a penny. I didn't catch his number either. Now Concord with the charge. It's Abdallah on the near side. He sends it up to Massey Mango. Couldn't quite keep it inside the touchline. So Jake Bowden will throw it in. He chooses Nathan Vero. Now Middleton turns upfield. Fultran sends it right back to him. Nathan Vero sends it up towards Statiras, too far.
Nice move there by Abdullah to evade the defender, but lose the ball in the process.
Wishart calmly changes fields. And Middleton gets it to Fultran. Vitor can't win that ball. Dangerous kick there by Concord. So Bedford will have a free kick right near midfield. Poshman plays it quickly. Bedford content to build its possession up here slowly instead of going for the home run. That ball goes out on the sideline, so we'll have a throw in. Just about 15 minutes in here. Vitor scored the first goal for Bedford in the 7th minute. Very nice individual footwork after a long pass ahead from the defender Middleton. Getting Bedford in that early comfort zone of playing with a lead. Now they slowly work towards adding their second goal of the afternoon.
Bedford very patiently just trying to set up their offensive plays from their own zone. Now here's the turnover.
Ferrier earning the throw in there for Concord. It looks like that sub was number 9, Zabayo. He's near the far side there. And Flanagan gains possession, plays back through Fultran. Now Vitor turns.
Here's the feed.
He sends it ahead to Statiras. He's got Vero behind him, but Concord able to take it away as the crowd starts to wake up a little bit.
Yeah, Daniel Abar played that very well.
That was one of those exciting opportunities that can really change a game. If Gutierrez had been able to control that, get Bedford up 2-0, would have been huge. But Concord strong on defense there. Now Fultran can't get it to Vitor, but Poshman, he tries the same. It's deflected. And now Bedford will be able to regain control. Middleton brings it towards the near side with Nathan Virau. Now Bowden. He's challenged.
Gets around Abdullah.
And he's tripped, but he stays on his feet.
But in the process, he loses the ball out of bounds.
They are going to give a free kick to Bedford. Looks like the referee waited for a split second there to let play continue, but the ball went out, so he whistled the foul. And Zachary Virau will take the free kick. Unless Gutierrez suggests otherwise. Nope, that'll be the plan.
Just giving him the play, I believe.
Solid opportunity here. The short hop is kicked away. Now Gutierrez flips it up to Vitor. And it looks like we've got an offside call.
I was going to say it was a tricky bounce that Vitor could not have played.
Yeah, he was sort of running out of room there, even if the pass had been perfect.
Yeah, it just kind of bounced over his head.
Nice header by Bowden.
Here's Abdullah for Concord.
He plays it into the middle nicely. Caceres battling, number 5. Now Ferrier.
Stays on his feet.
And here comes Zachary Vero. Looking for Vitor. And Concord wisely tries to clear it. And finally it goes out. Quick throw in from Zachary Vero. Off the head of Gutierrez. But cleared away now. That's Zabayo. He loses that out of bounds. Bedford will have a throw in.
Yeah, it looked like Zach Virau saw Gutierrez cutting down the middle and tried to get that throw into him and almost pulled it off.
Fultran plays it to Flanagan. Short little pass to Vitor. Bedford loses it. Abdallah on the near side. Plays it to the middle, gets it right back. Sends it up, but too many black jerseys back there.
Nathan Virau clears it away.
Bedford defenders doing a nice job staying back, not letting Concord get ahead of them. Always seems that Concord is trying to pass into a double team.
And now we have an injured player for Concord. Faisal Abdallah on the field. Play will continue.
Virau sends it in with the left.
Are they going to call handball here on Vitor? I believe they are.
They are. Vitor just recognizing the injury, and he bats it down to stop play, and now the officials stop the clock. A representative from the Concord bench is on his way to tend to Abdallah. Abdallah doesn't appear to be in too much pain. You can see him sitting right next to the NHIAA marker on the turf. That's the same spot where we saw the jersey numbers of Bedford's seniors on senior night for the boys soccer team and the girls soccer team. We enjoyed bringing you those broadcasts.
And if you did miss them live, they are available on the BCTV YouTube channel on demand anytime.
Thankfully, both of those nights were positive outcomes for the Bulldogs. I was a little concerned. The first boys broadcast we did was a tie. 1-1 against Wyndham, the only non-victory.
The only blemish.
But since then, we've broadcast a 2-0 victory and a 4-1 victory, so we're trending in the right direction.
And so far, the Bulldogs are on the right side of a 1-0 lead. Exactly 20 minutes to go here in the first half.
Halfway to halftime.
Not counting stoppage time.
Abdallah has now gotten to his bench. Boyle is back in the game. And Concord sends it out of bounds, since Bedford would have had possession after the injury. Nice show of sportsmanship there. Middleton plays it over to Fultran. He stays on his feet. Can't find Vitor, but Vitor gets the bounce.
Loses it in a collision there.
Boyle now surveying for Concord. Bowden sends it up. Statiras can't quite settle it. Abar throws it in to Boyle, gets it right back. Another give and go. Chipped ahead to Ferrier. Out comes Wishart, and he snags it near the near side corner of the box. Smart for Wishart to be quick on his feet there and come out and grab that.
Oh, that looked like a handball.
Did look like he got his hand in the cookie jar there.
Kind of like a punter catching it in the breadbasket, but the officials didn't see it. The play goes on.
Nathan Vero alone in the back. Now he plays it. It's deflected. That's Morikawa Montenegro. Bowden plays it back to Vero. Middleton surveying now. Big ball ahead.
Broken up there by De Bono.
Zabayo plays it up. Now Ferrier looking for it, but Flanagan comes back to get it. And once again, a wise move by Komeyer there to avoid any further interaction with Vitor.
Yeah, I was going to say that is a smart play there.
Vitor flicks that throw in off his right foot. Now Fultran gets it back to Middleton. You can really tell how well coached Bedford is. They're just methodical with changing field, maintaining possession, building for scoring opportunities.
And using their speed in transition. How often have we seen them turn a defensive play into a scoring chance immediately?
They can really do it so quickly with that group of midfielders that's so strong. Poshman, Statiras, Flanagan, and then with Vitor at the top and Zach Vero. That's Zach right there.
De Bono clears it away, but Bedford gets it right back. And now here's a trip. It was in the box. They're not going to call it.
Looks like the contact through the ball will prevent the whistle. Now Ferrier with the quick counterattack. And that pass ahead will go past the goal line for a goal kick.
And Flanagan challenging the Concord player there, Ferrier, not giving him any room.
Quick goal kick from Wishart. 16 minutes to play here in the first half of quarterfinal action. Bedford leading 1-0 thanks to the goal from Vitor in the 7th minute. They try to find him again, but it's deflected. Now Nathan Vero settles it over to Middleton. Off the foot of Flanagan. Now Poshman tries to keep it in. He does. Statiras, a short little pass, gets stolen away. Fultran. His turn to keep it in. He does. Bedford working towards its second goal here, hoping to increase the lead before halftime. And here comes Abdul Rahman again. For as much possession as Bedford has had today, Abdul Rahman really hasn't had to handle the ball that much.
No, you just read my mind. I was going to comment how neither team has been able to generate much in the way of offensive pressure or chances. And despite Bedford controlling the ball, the lion's share of this game, they really haven't turned them into too many scoring chances.
This might be one coming here. Statiras has it on the near side, tries to split the duo of the Crimson Tide, but it's taken away.
Montenegro really played that very well.
Now Boyle has it.
That goes out of bounds.
Zachary Vero takes the new ball. And we do have a dangerous kick here. Vitor making contact with Komeyer. We'll have a free kick for Concord. It'll be Abar again. Zachary Vero heads it over to Poshman. And now back to the senior goalkeeper, Aiden Wishart. Fultran back to Middleton. Now a big pass ahead. Right to Statiras. He sends it out on the wing to Flanagan. Nice defense there by Zabayo. Another substitution for Concord. Brady Rice checking in, number 17. Players looking for a signal.
It'll be Bedford possession. They're going to call a foul here. Free kick.
I think it may have been a handball there. So Flanagan will send it into the box. Vero heads it, but it's cleared away. Nathan Vero, plenty of time to settle that one. Now Bowden tries to get it to Hudson, but can't. Abar sends it to Caceres. But here comes Statiras. How about that for two similar names of opposing players? Ferrier to Caceres. And Statiras jumps ahead of that pass. Taken away by Montenegro.
And down goes Montenegro, and he's going to draw a foul.
That's Avery Hudson helping him up. 11-11 to play here in the first half. Bedford got on the board first. Vitor scoring the only goal of the afternoon so far in the 7th minute. And now Ferrier, number 3. alongside Ibar. Ibar sends it up to Ferrier, gets a little closer. Cleared away by Virau. Now Ferrier goes for the long shot. It's blocked by Poshman. And Rice turns it in. And Concord will get another free kick. Certainly not a great scoring opportunity from that distance, but a step in the right direction for Concord.
If they can get the ball placed in just the right spot here, it's certainly not impossible.
That's a nice ball. Wishart comes out airborne and punches it away. That really was a great service.
That was probably the best scoring opportunity they had, just getting the ball to the net and just hoping somebody can get a head on it. A lot can happen when in such tight quarters.
Yeah, that arc came down about 10 or 12 yards out in front of the goal, right in that in-between phase, that in-between zone. But Wishart played it perfectly. Now Flanagan has a little bit of space.
Tries to feed it up to Vitor here, and there's a foot race. Oh, Vitor might have a chance.
Kicked away there by Komeyer. And that sure was dangerous. And we've got a whistle on the far side for offside. Bedford will have a free kick. Yeah, Abdul Rahman really came out for that one, and good thing he had Komeyer there to back him up. Substitution for Bedford. It's Kim replacing Avery Hudson. A short throw in from Flanagan. Now Satirez trying to create a little space. Vitor chips it back to Bowden. His left-footed shot is deflected and taken by Abdul Rahman. Just over 8 minutes to play now in the first half. 15-0-1 Bulldogs, the #1 seed in Division I, with the early lead here in the quarterfinal matchup with Concord. Montenegro heads it.
Now Satirez has got a chance.
He flips it up to Flanagan. He turns it in. Pass to Vitor, just off his foot. Flanagan frustrated that
Might have got hit in the face.
Yeah, and that pass to Vitor was just barely off the mark. Unselfish play there by Flanagan. He certainly could have tried to shoot it to the far corner. Rice sends it up to Ferrier, but Poshman's there to take it away. Vitor spins so quickly. And now the cross just hooks a little bit too much. He was looking for Zachary Virau here on the near side. Too much English on that one. A low kick. Deflects ahead. And Ferrier upends Bowden. So Bowden takes the free kick with a little pass back to Virau. Fultran gets it to Flanagan. And Ferrier has it.
Now they turn it over. And they get it back.
Montenegro brings it to the near side. Boyle uses A-bar. Once again, it's 1v2 for Concord. Bedford just not giving them any room. And Kim clears it. 6 minutes to play now. Middleton the first to that ball. Fultran second.
Now, Vero fanned on that clearing kick. Luckily, he had a teammate there to clear it away.
Vitor can't get past midfield with possession as O'Neill sends it out on the far side. Now Middleton sends it back to Nathan Virau. He sends a high kick to his brother, Zachary. And Vitor battling for possession. Now Ferrier going 1v5. Not surprisingly loses it. Wishart sends it towards midfield. And Poshman lobs it ahead. Under 5 minutes to play now in the first half. Abdul Rahman sends a high kick towards midfield. Poshman comes in for the header. That one bounces over Bowden's head. Now Ferrier can't quite connect with Caceres. That was another one of those opportunities that was almost significant for Concord. Kim pushed aside.
Okay.
And Wishart wisely comes out to snag that one. Now he rolls it over to Middleton. His ball is just over Zachary Virau. Statiras battling for it, comes away with it.
Hey, can you hear me?
And Bedford will have a throw in.
Apparently the schedule wasn't cleared because it just knocked us off. Can you clear it from where you are?
Jake Bowden waiting as substitutions are made.
Boyle comes off the field, and in his place, I'll give you the number as soon as he turns around.
Meanwhile, on Bedford's side, Dennis Soralik checks in for Kim.
Faisal Abdullah is the player that came in.
Middleton gets it settled down to Poshman. Now, Foltran dealing with a double team. Soralik gives it back to Middleton. Big ball ahead towards Vitor. A little bit off the mark. And there's a handball on Morikawa Montenegro. Just over 2.5 minutes to play here. Bedford trying to increase the lead to 2-0 before half. Vitor working hard, but working a little too hard there as the foul is whistled. Now the referees are conferencing about the play. If they were talking about a yellow card, they've decided against it. 2 minutes to play now, so the officials have the clock on the field for the rest of the half. Abdallah with the throw in, back to Abar. Stolen by Flanagan. Now Ferrier to Caceres. And Concord just can't quite keep possession in the offensive end. Soralik turns it up. And Montenegro volleys it out.
Ball kind of leaves his hand inadvertently, gets a second chance.
It's the mulligan. Flanagan comes away with it. Now he crosses it. It's chested away. And Bedford will get another corner kick. Zachary Vero kept that alive, and Vitor hustling here with the clock winding down, and sure enough, there's the whistle.
Wow. I'm running the stopwatch, and we're only 1:20 seconds in, so that was a very quick stoppage time.
That was a little bit surprising. But what is not surprising is the fact that Bedford has the lead here at halftime. Vitor scoring for Bedford in the 7th minute. And the Bulldogs have the halftime lead here in Division I boys soccer action. 1-0 over Concord.
And we are back for second half action as the Bulldogs will be defending the goal to our right with a 1-0 lead. Vitor with the goal in the first with an assist from Middleton, I believe.
That's correct. Yeah, Middleton played a nice ball ahead. He's been anchoring the defense, and Coach Pepper has to be very happy with the defensive performance again, with no goals allowed.
And he might be happy with just playing that same kind of game here in the second half. And we begin. Poshman hits it ahead, but it goes right to the keeper. A little funny bounce. Abdul Rahman a little trouble holding on to that one, but is able to settle it down. And the goal kick from Abdul Rahman. Fired back in by Concord. Ferrier had a chance on it. And now Caceres tries to head it forward, but Bedford is there to make the play. Fultran. They get it back, and now it's cleared out of bounds by Middleton. It'll be a throw-in here for the Tide.
That was a little dangerous for Bedford, but Wishart and Fultran communicating after the play, sorting it out so that they can avoid that next time.
O'Neill goes out of bounds off a Bedford player. He throws it in again. Caceres up to Ferrier. And now clearing pass by Bedford. Here's a chance by Abdullah, number 7. Still with the ball, gets by a few defenders, feeds it inside, broken up. Now headed out of bounds by Bowden. Now the throw in here for Concord. Ball bounces up now to Abar. He loses it out of bounds, and Bedford throws it into play. Caceres taken back by Concord. Challenged in midfield. Now here's a pass up ahead for Flanagan. He's against O'Neill, and he gets pushed off the ball there, and they take it away. The crowd doesn't like that play.
Yeah, that could have been a push in the back. It was outside the box, so it would not have been a penalty kick. It would have been a free kick, but certainly would have been a good scoring opportunity for Bedford.
Now Concord with the throw-in. Played up to Abdullah. He just sends it to midfield, where Middleton settles it down for Bedford. Fultran gets it up to Flanagan. Flanagan pulls up. Ball goes out of bounds. And what's the play here? They're going to keep it in Bedford's possession now. Flanagan throws it to Fultran. Now Middleton chips it over to Dathan Vero. Middleton gets it back here. There's a header up by Statiris. Flanagan couldn't settle it down. It rolls right to the Concord keeper, Abdul Rahman, and he throws it out.
Well, that was a perfect play by Statiris with that header. And Flanagan just too strong with the touch there and couldn't get the shot off.
Now at midfield, played by Abdullah. Chips it over to Ferrier. Abdullah again. Now Ferrier's shot is blocked, taken away momentarily by the Bulldogs, and they come away with it. Rodriguez. Back to Vitor. Vitor kicks it right into De Bono, and he gives up the corner. So Bedford gets the corner that they were denied at the end of the first half. Looks like Vitor will take this one.
Zachary Vero actually over there now to take it.
Thank you. That's number 10. Into the box, headed away. Played up by Hudson. The back to Virao. On net, and Abdul Rahman comes out to make the save.
Well, just a couple feet farther away from the net, and Vitor may have been able to volley that one in, but instead it went directly to Abdul Rahman.
Now Bedford controls it again in their own end. Middleton chips it over to Fultran. Fultran gets away from his man Rice. Feed up the head to Vitor. He's double teamed, but that doesn't stop him. He comes away with the ball. Tries to feed it inside to Nathan Vero. Couldn't get it to him, or Flanagan actually. Another pass for Flanagan is denied, and Nathan Vero has to go back and play it. Now Abdullah up to Ferrier. This is number 10, Moakawa Montenegro. He loses it. And Ferrier gets a boot in a tender spot and goes down to the turf. And he's helped up by Bowden.
Yeah, I think he took that off the lower leg somewhere. And he's limping a little bit.
Now Nathan Ferrier across to his partner Middleton. Up to Fultran and back to Middleton. Being watched by Rice. The long pass up. And this might work out. There's a shot and a goal. Number 10, Zachary Virao. Comes in all alone on Abdul Rahman and just gets it to his left side. And that makes it 2-0 Bedford. It's a great pass from the defensive zone. And we'll wait to find out who they award the assist to.
How about that? 33-33 to play here in the second half.
So Zachary Vero at the goal. And Andrew Middleton gets the assist with the long lead pass. Might have even glanced off Vitor's head just slightly, not enough to award him an assist. Now here's Flanagan coming away with it. Chips it over to number 14, Fultran. He's being double teamed along the sideline, and now it's knocked out of bounds by O'Neill. Bedford will retain the possession here.
Well, that goal just goes to show you how you can take advantage of the playing surface. This turf is so fast, and Middleton got that pass all the way up to the front lines. It just happened so quickly. And Virao really took advantage of that opportunity by finding that far corner in the net.
Now Poshman plays it over to Fultran. Here's Flanagan now, looking for a center. A crossing pass hits a Concord player and now is headed out of bounds by, or out of the zone, I should say, by Montenegro. Hit back by Bedford. It goes out of bounds. It'll be possession Concord with 32:26 to go. Ibar throws it into play, goes out of bounds, and Ibar will have another chance here.
Well, Bedford players and supporters have to be breathing a bit of a sigh of relief here with the 2-0 advantage. You know, a little
Especially
bit.
with the way they've been playing defense. It's been, Concord really hasn't had a serious scoring opportunity today.
Yeah, and they just couldn't feel comfortable with that 1-0 lead. Anything can happen with one crazy bounce or deflection. So
and now we have a free kick. I believe it was a handball. Farrier is lined up to take the kick. Now the official clears the field. They'll allow the play to continue here. Farrier sets up, takes the shot for the net. It goes past everybody and out of bounds. It'll be goal kick, Bedford. And Wishart will have the duty here. Chips it up to Nathan Vero, being watched by Farrier. Now over to to Poshman. Foltran stumbles momentarily, still able to control it. Now here's Middleton, who had the assist on the last goal. Foltran up ahead to Vero. Along the sideline to Flanagan. He got by his man. He's got an opportunity here on a crossing pass. High pass that goes right to the net, and Abdul Rahman just gets a hand on it, knocks it over the crossbar, but gives up a goal, gives up a corner kick in the process.
yeah, that turned into quite an opportunity, and Abdul Rahman doing well just to get that over the crossbar, as you said.
So Vero's corner being chased down by Poshman. Watched by Caceres, 5-on-5 there. Hudson back to Middleton, so play goes back into the Bedford zone. Middleton finds Vero. Now Vero chips it over to Bowden. It goes out of bounds. Here's the throw in. Abdullah loses it to a Bedford player. Now they get it back. And down goes a Tide player, trying to get the number there, number 14. That's Ibar. So possession will stay with Concord here.
They're going to say that Vitor tripped him.
So they'll give him a free kick.
Coach Pepper clapping his encouragement there.
Headed away. And kicked ahead. Bedford with the possession there. Flanagan has it. Now Foltran being watched very closely by Rice. Middleton. Flanagan gets it back. Too far for Poshman. And O'Neill tries to get it up to Rice. Foltran in tight space, comes down with it. Nathan Vero just decides to chip it back to Wishart. Now he gets it right back. Long pass up to the sideline. Headed away. Knocked back in there. Now sent right back into the Bedford zone. Wishart is going to play this one. We're at the 28-minute mark remaining here in the second half with Concord, with Bedford up 2-0. Wishart rolls it over to Middleton now. To Foltran on the sideline, back to Middleton. Being watched by Rice. Sent right back into the Bedford zone. Middleton has it again. Over to Poshman. Poshman leaves it there for Nathan Vero. Now the pass up for Vitor. Vitor blocking with his body and gets by two defenders, still controlling the ball and taken down here. No whistle. Vitor back up, down again, and no whistle. What do you got to do to draw a foul here?
We're still playing soccer, right? Or is this Friday night football?
Pass is off the foot of Abdullah, out of bounds. Concord with the throw, Bedford with the throw-in. But this they called. Montenegro gets the takedown. So that they call, but not the tackle on Vitor.
Vitor certainly trying to sell the call, but he got hit twice.
You know, a player like Vitor has every right to get around his defender, and the defender can't stick his leg out to knock him over.
Yeah, and Vitor did a great job shielding his defender. You're allowed to do that. Defender's not allowed to run over your back or trip you up.
Here's Ferrier. Leaves it there for Abdullah. He's being watched by Nathan Vero. Abdullah still with it, now loses it. And goes out of bounds off of Bedford. So it's Concord ball here on the throw-in. Or is it? No, they're going to give it to Bedford here. Wishart will take a goal kick. He sends it over to Middleton. Middleton taking his time here. Gets it up to Avery Hudson. Now Flanagan tries to feed it ahead to Vitor. Back to Flanagan, shot on net. Saved by Abdul Rahman. Correct myself, that pass was from Zach Vero. Now back in the Bedford end. Played there by Montenegro. He settles the ball down. Being watched there by Statiris. Now Ibar tries to get it to Ferrier. That's broken up and cleared out of bounds. Concord with the throw-in. Ibar will take the honors here. Throwing it into Ferrier. Ferrier double team. Now the ball up to Caceres. Pass across field. Got to Rice. Massamingo with a sharp angle shot that goes behind the net. It's going to be a goal kick for Bedford.
Well, it was one of the few times that Concord strung together a few passes. But as you mentioned, Massamingo just ended up without much of an angle there.
And we've got some changes here. Rice leaves the field. And I believe number 9 is in for him. That's Zabayo. Montenegro to Abdullah. Caceres. He gets it back, being watched. Gets around his defender. Massamingo tries to feed it up. Ferrier in a crowd, able to get a kick away. That's cleared away now by Bedford. Caceres chases it down, and it's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Concord ball. O'Neill in for Caceres. He might have a chance here, but it's broken up by Poshman. Goes out of bounds. Looks like they've given up or let's see, I think that went off a Concord player. I think it went off Zabaya.
Yes, indeed. Bedford will have another goal kick here. Meanwhile, Sarelic checks in for the Bulldogs, replacing Hudson.
Jacob Bowden sends it across. Ball out of bounds. It'll belong to Concord here. 22:43 to go in regulation. Bulldogs up 2-0 here in this quarterfinal Division I tournament game. Now Ferrier with the chance along the sideline. Still with it. Sends it toward the net. Whoa, that was a curious bounce there.
Yeah, Bowden volleyed it nicely with his foot, but it deflected off his head, and that's how it went out of bounds, and Concord will have a corner kick.
Well, lucky that it bounced over the net and not into the goal. so Concord. The Concord fans making some noise here as Caceres tees up the corner. Here's the kick. To nothing coming of that. And here's a collision between Abdullah, or actually Zabaya, and Middleton. And the ball will belong to Bedford.
Yeah, Zabayo kind of ran over Sarelic there, so Middleton will take the free kick.
Over the head of Vitor. Played by the Tide. Caceres has it. Tries to feed it ahead to Ferrier. Too far, goes out of bounds. It'll be Bedford ball. Vero had it momentarily. Now Abdullah up to Ferrier. Clearing attempt. No, it bounces right back. But Wishart is there to make the save. Close call there for Bedford. And probably the best scoring attempt of the night or the day for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, Ferrier chose to attempt that shot with the outside of his right foot. If he let that go down to the turf, he may have been able to hit a shot with more velocity with his left, but he went with the quick kick, just didn't have enough on it.
Now Abdullah couldn't quite get his leg on it and winds up knocking it out of bounds. Here's the throw-in. Off of Bedford, we'll go back to Concord. Coming up on the 20-minute mark of the second half, Bedford up 2-0. And now Bedford finally settles the ball down. Satiris falls down, no whistle. A little bit of contact there between Middleton and Ferrier. Ferrier is able to come up with it, feeds it up to Abdullah along the sideline. Abdullah cuts back, and now the crossing pass. Tried to get it to Zabaya, but it's broken up. And now a slow roller to the net where Wishart's able to play that and make the save.
Well, nice job there by Bowden. You saw Nathan Vero go up to head it first. His header didn't clear the box, but Bowden was there to support him with a header of his own.
The long pass gets by one Tide player, Cormier. And it goes out of bounds, knocked out there by O'Neill, giving up the possession to Bedford on a throw-in.
Substitution for the Bulldogs. Hudson checking back in, replacing Flanagan.
There's the throw-in. Vitor with it. Vitor settles it down, leaves it there for number 14, Foltran. His shot grazes the crossbar, goes out of bounds. Close call there for Concord. And now this is Ibar with the goal kick. Headered at midfield. Vero settles it down. Pass back to him. Too far. Couldn't play it. Goes out of bounds. Concord now with the throw-in. Abdullah up to Ferrier. That goes too far. Now it's chipped right back to the Bedford goal. Or Wishart kicks it away. Foltran tries to get it back to Poshman, but instead it goes over to Massamongo. Caceres tries to make the play. Ferrier with a shot that goes right off of Zabayo and it goes out of bounds. It's going to be Bedford ball.
Yeah, unfortunate there for the Crimson Tide. That shot probably would not have turned into a goal, but
it would have been on net at least.
Good turnout here by the fans for this quarterfinal action.
Now Statiris comes down. No whistle. He gets right back up and gets possession here. Long pass up to Vero. Hudson. Now sent back to Middleton and Nathan Vero. Chip up for Poshman. He settles it down. Now Bowden with it. Bowden has some room to operate in. Got the feet in. Couldn't quite control it. Now here's another chance. That gets knocked away. Statiris had a chance there. Now Vitor tries to feed it inside. It just bounces off a Concord player and right to Abdul Rahman, who makes the save. 16 minutes to go here in regulation. 2-0 Bedford up. There's the long kick. Poshman comes down with it. Drops it back. Foltran gets a leg on it, but it goes out of bounds. Ball goes over to Concord. They throw it in. And Zabayo, I guess, got called for something, had to relinquish control there. Statiris tries to get it back to Foltran. Instead, it gets knocked out of bounds, but Foltran will have the throw in. Rice is back in the game. And we get a stoppage in play.
Flanagan subbing back into the ball game. Saralik taking a break.
So Flanagan's throwing to Vitor. Vitor gets the chest on it. Now here's a shot just wide. Nathan Statiris just curved it, bent it away from the crossbar.
That was a beautiful setup. Coach Pepper has to be very pleased with that. Vitor using his chest, leaving it out in front of Statiris, and he put a nice inside-out English on that, just missing the far post. It's fun to see those plays develop.
Abdullah loses it out of bounds for Concord. So Bedford gets the throw in. It goes off somebody's head. Is intended for Vero. Out of bounds, it'll be a throw in here for Bedford. So Statiris throwing it in. Vitor. Now whistle is blown. Guess we'll do the play again. Statiris to Vitor. Gets knocked away, and it's going to be a corner. So Statiris will take the corner here. He's got Foltran to the side. We'll see if he just sends it over to him. No, it looks like he's going to send it toward the net. And he does. There's the kick. A header by Poshman gets cleared away. Now Foltran trying to settle the ball down. Gets it to Poshman. Poshman kicks it. A nifty kick down to Foltran. He loses it out of bounds. We get another corner.
Yeah, that was a real nifty heel pass by Poshman.
Now Vitor is going to leave it there for Vero. Back up to Vitor. Vitor, his cross pass too far for Poshman, goes out of bounds. It'll be goal kick Concord. Now Ibar with the goal kick. Sends it to midfield. Vero had it momentarily, and now Concord takes over. Broken up by Bedford. Now Statiris feeding it up to Vitor. Here's a race. Abdul Rahman beats him to it. makes a save. They're going to call that offsides, I believe. There's a kick into the Bedford zone, headed away. Qtr-Final now in a race with Qtr-Final. Now Abdullah with it. Abdullah cuts it inside, runs into a Bedford player, and Flanagan's able to clear it away. Here's Comier. Chipped out, goes to O'Neill. O'Neill to Abdullah. Abdullah looking for a man to pass it to. Qtr-Final with it, using his back to shield the ball. Here's a kick down the sideline for Abdullah. High crosser, settled down by Ferrier, now cleared away.
Poshman blocked that shot nicely.
Masamengo unable to get it up to his man. Now Bedford takes over here. Vitor. His pass is blocked. And it goes out of bounds, where Bowden is able to throw it in here. 10:45 left in regulation, 2-0 lead for the Bulldogs. DeBono headers it out of bounds. But they'll give the ball to Concord here. Concord coming away with possession here. Taken away by Flanagan. Pass inside for Qtr-Final, couldn't quite control it. Now Qtr-Final to Abdullah. O'Neill for Concord, looking for an outlet. Gets it back to Abdullah. Sending it down the line there to Masamengo. Abdullah gets it back off a Bedford player. Cross pass taken away by Bedford. Qtr-Final, he had it knocked off his foot, but it goes right to Wishart, who makes the save. He'll have the goal kick here. Instead, he chooses it to roll it to his defensive partner, Foltran. He sends it back to the goal, where Wishart has it. He had Abdullah closing in on him, clears it away in the meantime. Flanagan now gets away from his man. Masamengo tries to break that up. Vitor has it. He gets knocked off the ball. Qtr-Final now for Concord, up to Abdullah. Abdullah being covered. There's a long lead for Ferrier. Middleton heads it away, but Ferrier comes up with it momentarily. Now to Qtr-Final. Poshman comes away with it for Bedford. Poshman sends it up to Qtr-Final. Qtr-Final has some room here. Down the sideline for Vero. Vero with a crosser, knocked down by Abdul Rahman. Save Concord. Now Abdul Rahman with the goal kick. Qtr-Final comes up with it. Now he gets it up to Ferrier. Cleared away by Bedford. Another attempt there by Montenegro. It just bounces up to Qtr-Final, and he comes up, I'm sorry, to Qtr-Final. He comes away, he tries to get it up to Vitor. Too far, legged out there by Cormier. Gives up possession to avoid the possible offensive play there by Vitor. 8 minutes now to go in regulation here. 2-0. Bulldogs are up. We'll get a throw in. Meant for Vitor. Head away by DeBono. Possession stays with Bedford. Here's a crosser. Settled down by Flanagan. Loses it momentarily, and Abdullah takes it away there for Concord. Now Qtr-Final with it. He splits the defense, and it's tripped. We get a call, no. Qtr-Final takes a shot on goal. It hits Comier and goes out of bounds. Actually, it's saved there, saved from being a corner. They're just going to give up the throw-in. So good hustle there by DeBono to not to give up the corner play. On the throw-in, Bedford's able to settle it down here. Now Masamingo pushes away. Poshman gets away with that. Tries to get it over to Abdullah. Can't do it. Flanagan now throws it in for Vitor. Vitor along the goal line. He's so good with his control there on tight spaces. He centers. The ball goes right to Abdul Rahman. And it's a save. Coming up in the 6-minute mark here, regulation. We'll go to stoppage time at 5. And we'll run the stopwatch here in the booth to have some idea how much time has elapsed.
Maybe accurate, may not.
Now we like to keep an eye on the officials here.
Boyle and Huey just checked in for Concord.
Ferrier tries to clear it up, can't do it. Flanagan takes over. Gets by O'Neill. Now the pass to Ferrier, he loses it again. Bedford with it. That's Bowden. Being watched by Huey. Vitor can't quite come up with it. He just leaves it there for Abdul Rahman, who kicks it away. Vitor trying to settle it down, chips it up. Poshman has it. Sends it back to Nathan Vero. Tried to get it to his brother, Zach. Too far, goes out of bounds. And now we're at the 5-minute mark. We begin the stopwatch in the booth. And we assume the officials are keeping time on the field now. Broken up to Statiris. Statiris trying to get away from Montenegro. Does momentarily. Down he goes, and we'll see if we get a call here. We do. Poshman with the free kick. Sends it up the sideline. Now Vitor has it. He has it taken away. Tries to come back for it. Montenegro now fighting for possession with Statiris. And we get a whistle.
I think they're going to say that Vitor may have tugged on the player. I didn't see it, but that's the foul must have been called on Vitor.
Now Ibar will take this kick. We're about a minute into stoppage time. Oh, here's an opportunity now. Ferrier got a foot on it, but Wishart comes out and cuts the angle and makes the save. So good play there by Wishart. One of the rare scoring opportunities the Tide have had here this afternoon. There's a pass across to Abdullah. Abdullah gets away from Flanagan, chips it inside to Boyle, and the ball goes off his leg and right to Wishart. Minute and 40 into stoppage time here. 2-0 lead for the Bulldogs. We expect 5 minutes of stoppage time. The long lead kick. Cleared away. Abdullah comes up with it. He gets it back on the give and go. Along the sideline, looks like it went out of bounds. But play continues. Bedford now, Statiris. Being watched by Abdullah. Vitor. Drops it back to Hudson. Cross pass. Poshman now. Back to Nathan Vitor. He falls down as he chips it up. Gets it to his brother. Now Hudson at midfield. 2 minutes and 30 seconds at stoppage time, about halfway. Flanagan. There's a give and go, but broken up there very nicely by Comier. Now a collision with Vitor and Abdullah. They're going to call that.
Abdallah loses one of his spikes.
We're at the 3-minute mark now, stoppage time. Expecting to play for 5. Bedford up 2-0. And here they are. Flanagan gets the lead pass up to Vitor. Vitor in a crowd tries to chip it over to Viro. Viro, the crosser, gets cleared away out of bounds. Bedford will retain possession.
A host of substitutions now for the Bulldogs.
Get some fresh legs out there.
Kim checks in along with Brian Peters in the midfield.
And Troyer looks like he'll have the duties for the throw-in. Now Poshman. He's got some room to operate. Gets it over to Flanagan. Feed inside for Poshman. Back to Flanagan.
This is Shoup, who also just checked in.
Here's Poshman. Tries to turn around quickly. Maintains control. Gets it to Kim. Kim is happy to just knock it all the way back into their own zone. Maintain control. Middleton leaves it there for Wishart. Now goes back to Middleton. We're 4:20 into stoppage time. Supposed to be 5 minutes. There's Poshman at midfield. Gets it to Vitor. Vitor settles it down. Now turns it around. Feeds it up ahead. Broken up. Bedford gets it back. Poshman. 15 seconds left. Of course, the official will decide when the game is over. Right now, our stopwatch indicates we're at 4:55 into stoppage time. Now we've hit the 5-minute mark, still going. Header by Poshman, rolls right back to Abdul Rahman. He kicks it away. Try to get it up to Ferrier, and that's going to be it. So 5:17 of stoppage time will do it. Bedford advances here in this quarterfinal, and Concord is eliminated, the number 9 seed.